Hello friends and enemies, today is July 19th, 2018, and the Transformer news is flowing freely, like a fresh lake of energon flowing down a mountain. So, as you might have guessed, I've got some opinions. But first off, I want to talk about the Hall of Fame, and the inductees this year are Black Arachnia from the fan vote for the fan vote character, Battle Trap for the fan vote toy of 2018. I'm so glad that got in. And John Barber, the creator inductee. All of these are solid choices. Would have liked to have seen Unicron over Black Arachnia, but oh well, I'm happy that the She-Spider is getting in there. Let's face it, she's a much better developed character than Unicron ever was. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the Cyberverse. We've got some Scout class figures, we've got some Warrior class figures, and some Ultra class figures. First up are the Scout class figures, starting off with Optimus Prime. Now these Scout class figures don't really have a full transformation. They're kind of a half-action gimmick transformation that I'm not thrilled with, but I can't argue with the look of Prime. The robot mode looks good. The quote-unquote alt mode, not so much. Next we have Slipstream, who has the same exact gimmick as Starscream does in the line. She turns into a Gerwalk mode without arms and flipping guns or wings or something. Next up is WINDBLADE, who has another Gerwalk mode. I mean, come on, I could do the Gerwalk mode myself. And her gimmick is that blades come out of her wings. Next up is the Warrior class figures, and the first one we have is Acid Storm, who is a remold of Starscream. I love the coloring of this. The green, the yellow, and the charcoal really look nice. However, the vehicle mode doesn't look good, and from what I understand, he has no knee articulation at all. Okay then. Next is Warrior Class Megatron, who is on display in the case at the show. And I think this looks really cool. I'm not thrilled with the fact that his one arm is just an energon mace, and in vehicle mode it just sticks out the back, but what can I do about that? Not much. I think the vehicle mode looks solid. That tank mode looks really good. And then finally, we've got Warrior Class WINDBLADE, who looks okay. The 3D model that I'm showing you here looks not bad. The figure in person, I don't know. It looks like it's missing just paint. It looks like it doesn't have enough paint. Finally, we have the Ultra class figures. The first up is Shadow Striker, who I was right in my previous Cyberverse video, turns into a sports car of some sort. That's cool. And then we have Ultra class Shockwave. Shockwave's robot mode looks absolutely fantastic. His quote-unquote vehicle mode of a crab tank still sucks. I'm sorry, that does not look good. If he's going to be a tank, at least, I don't know, give him treads or something? Maybe he's supposed to be a hover tank. I don't know. This is dumb, and I don't like it. But the robot mode is good. Moving on to the next set of figures we're going to be talking about first is the Bumblebee Vision Helmet, or B Vision Helmet. It's a VR helmet. So what it is, it's got the battle mask of Bumblebee, then you slide a cell phone into this view scanner thing that then you put the cell phone in a container, then slide it into this like cupped mask that goes in the helmet and covers the eyes. And I think it's supposed to be kind of like a Toys to Life thing where you're literally punching or shooting using one hand, because there are sensors, not sensors, but if you look at the picture on the left, sorry, a figure just fell off my desk, you can see that there's something that has these little decos that I believe are supposed to be used for the gun. It could be very, very cool. I'm not sure I'm going to pick this up. Well, let's put it this way. I've never really had a good time in VR, let's say, and cell phone VR is especially not been fun. So I think I will pass and move on to some Studio Series figures. First up is Voyager class Ironhide. Now, this guy's been floating around the review sphere for a little bit. A couple of reviewers have already gotten a hold of him. I think he showed up in the Philippines already. I'm not sure, but some folks have already reviewed him. I'm going to get a hold of him because I'm pretty much all in on the Studio series, except for that blasted Bumblebee figure. Oh, yes, speaking of Bumblebee, we're getting a new Bumblebee figure. I've got a little bit of trepidation towards it. It looks nifty. I love the VW bug mode. Robot mode is a little bit kibbly. There's a lot of stuff going on in that backpack and behind the knees, but it could be cool. I like the feet. I think the feet actually look really neat. The right arm of the figure is a Gatling gun, and on the left forearm, is a little blade, and he's got his battle mask. So I'm looking forward to that. Then we have Deluxe Class Shadow Raider, which is a repaint of Lockdown. It's the same Lockdown figure in orange, or the vehicle mode is orange, with the movie battle mask that he used for sniping, and a gun that appears to have, I don't know, soda cans on top. Anyway, moving on, Autobot Deluxe Class Autobot Ratchet. It's the same exact figure with a different gun and a kind of a Kool-Aid green paint job. I actually would have liked them to go with this one as opposed to the other one. I think the coloring works better. Then we have the Deluxe Class KSI Sentry, which is a repaint of Stinger. And this one looks... I think this is cool. And I say this is a repaint of Stinger, but I'm not certain. There are things that are just different enough that make me think that he might not be a repaint, but might actually be a retool as opposed to a repaint. So we're going to have to wait and see. It's got a Bugatti Huayra alt mode. I think the original Stinger was a Pagani Huayra, not a Bugatti. A Pagani. Too many European names. I'm looking forward to this guy. I like the blue coloring. And then we have Deluxe Class Dropkick. And oh my, I was right. Or at least I think I was right. In my previous video talking about the movie news, I surmised that Dropkick and Shatter are triple changers. In the panel, they mentioned that Dropkick is in fact a triple changer. And I think what they're doing here is what I suggested. They are going to release a deluxe class version of each one of the alt modes that turns into the robot. And here we have the helicopter mode. I think it's Apache gunship. I don't know for sure. I'll have to look that up. But it's sweet. The alt mode is beautiful. And the robot mode looks really cool. Reminds me of Whirl, oddly enough. I'm stoked for this figure. I am super stoked. I cannot wait to get a hold of this guy because he just looks rad. Moving away from the movie stuff, let's talk about the big thing. Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege. Now, the thing with this trilogy is each one of the trilogies is going to get a different name. The first one is Siege, and that's what we're going to look at here. First up, Micromasters are back. Micromasters! If you're old enough to remember these things, they were really tiny, like prime armor-sized Transformers that were really cool. They were cool. Not all of them were great, but they were neat. First up, we have the Battle Patrol, which is actually, these two figures... all right, let me start again. All of these figures are G1 figures. So first up, Battle Patrol, Autobot Battle Patrol have Flak, who is the green tank, and Big Shot, who is the artillery unit. And they both transform and merge together to form a giant gun. And then we have the Autobot Race Car Patrol with Road Handler and Swindler. And these guys are two very cool little 80s style cars that then both merge together to form a quad barrel gun that just looks like the robot modes layered on top of each other. And finally, the Micromaster Autobot Rescue Patrol with Red Heat and Stakeout. And they look very much like the original figures did. And like the other two sets, these two guys can combine into a giant gun. I'm stoked. I'm just flat out stoked. I cannot wait to get a hold of these things because, wow, is that tickling a G1 nostalgia itch that I did not think I had. All right, moving on to Battle Masters. So this one's a little weird. I'm not sure what's going on here, and sorry for the clicking throughout the review. That's actually my keyboard. We have a new Battlemaster. Remember in my previous review, we talked about the Battlemaster that comes with Prime. This Battlemaster is called Lionizer, and he is a black lion, black and gray lion, that turns into a giant freaking sword. And he even comes with a slashing motif, which is cool. That can be plugged into the back of some of the cars to make them look like they're, shooting stuff out of their exhaust. And that figure comes with Hound. Deluxe Autobot Hound. One of my favorite all-time G1 characters. Sweet. And then we've got Deluxe Class CHROMIA, who appears to be a heavy retool of Moonracer. And I've got to admit, this alt mode looks really good. The robot mode looks good as well. We originally had CHROMIA in the Generations line as a motorcycle. I would love for her to get her, own 100% unique figure. Oh well, she's going to be a retool, I guess, for the rest of her life. Then we have Deluxe Class IRONHIDE, and the robot mode is fantastic. The alt mode is very boxy, really reminiscent of Transformers Energon Inferno in a good way. I like it. I think it's, I really like it. I think it's cool. And finally in the Deluxe Class, we have COG. Now, for those of you that don't know, COG is the original little mini-bot that came with the original G1 Fortress Maximus. He was a figure that split into, or the robot mode split into two components, a little tank and then a little wheeled battle platform. This figure can do the same thing, but this guy is also called a Weapon Master. He splits apart into 6 or 7 different individual weapons. That is freaking awesome, because the original COG was supposed to do that as well. Some imagination was needed, but it was supposed to do that. Very much like Six Gun that came with, not Fortress Maximus, Metroplex, which really begs the question, are we going to get a Six Gun and a Stamper? I wonder. That would be very, very cool. Okay. Now, the last big one. Leader Class Ultra Magnus. Holy moly, I was not expecting this. I really wasn't. And not only is he a leader class, his alt mode looks exactly like God Magnus from Transformers Car Robots, and the alt mode has a cab that separates and has its own internal white robot mode. Well done, Hasbro. I've got a clap for you for that one. I was not expecting this, especially after the excellent Titans Returns or Generations figure. I'm blown away. This looks rad. This looks super cool. The white cab, or the white mode, or the white cab, appears to have a very simple transformation. Totally okay with that. Then it looks like the amount of folding and disassembling necessary to form Ultra Magnus is a bit on the extreme side, but I'm okay with that because this is really, really cool. In fact, all of these Siege figures are really cool. They've ditched the Headmaster gimmick. They've gone back to Target Masters, which was my favorite master, or of the Master line, and they've come up with some excellent looking figures. I'm really stoked, and I realize I'm being a bit hypocritical, because if you follow me on Twitter, or if you follow what I've said online, I've been asking for fresh new figures, new designs for years. Well, we're getting new designs, but the original G1 figures. Yeah, I realize that's very hypocritical for me wanting brand new figures, but they do something like this, like Siege, and I'm just going, ooh, want everything. Yes, I realize I'm being hypocritical. Sorry about that. Now, one thing I do have to bring up, other than my own hypocrisy, is the fact that there are no Decepticons yet. We have not seen a single Decepticon in this line, and apparently they're not coming until Wave 2 or 3, which is criminal. Come on, Hasbro. Give us some Decepticons. This is supposed to be the war for Cybertron. Who are the Autobots fighting? A bridge? Are they fighting the sky? Come on, Hasbro. Please. Just give us some Decepticons. It's not that hard. Starscream, Megatron, Soundwave, Barricade, Fangry, Venom? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, this line isn't due out until 2019, at least I don't think. So, yeah, it's going to be a hard wait. Now, there were some other stuff shown off at San Diego Comic-Con. There's a nifty Entertainment Earth exclusive Bumblebee Retro Pop Highway set. That's cool. It's the Studio Series Bumblebee, literally in gold, with two never-before released in the USA cassette tapes, specifically Dairu and Zauru, I think that's how you pronounce it. So they're coming out in October of 2018. I'll try and get a hold of them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but we'll see. Other than that, not much else was shown off. Still, though, there's a lot of news here and a lot of cool figures to look forward to. So again, keep your eyes on my channel. I'll be reviewing most of these figures as I get them. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit the like and subscribe buttons. Hit the bell for the notifications so you know when a new video is up. And as always, I'm Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time.